All right, hey everyone. This will be me as an ISTP in relationships and how I go about them. This will be both platonic and romantic. This is partially requested by Green Sacred Fire, so thank you for that. If you want to make a request yourself, and this is everyone, go ahead and make it. I am perfectly fine with that. This will be oh yeah, it's summer break. So I will probably try to make more videos if I can. Let's just see what happens. So let's get into it. Casual and platonic. I don't really have a lot of, I would say, friendships. In fact, I think, let's see here. I don't really think I have anyone who like I could solidly call like a friend. I definitely have a lot of like very well connect like I have some acquaintances that I'm well connected to, and I do have like a lot of acquaintances, I think, but in terms of like someone like I contact with all the time and I talk to all the time, hang out with all the time, I don't really have that just yet. In fact, that's been kind of like since the very beginning. In fact, I would even say early in life, I didn't really interact with much people at all because I did not really understand social cues all that well. I guess you could kind of call me a little bit of a weird kid back in early elementary school. Despite that, I actually did have a couple of close friends who would do tag and stuff like that, but we split up when I moved between fourth and fifth grade to a different elementary school, and we never really were quite the same since. We, you know, we hang out a little bit in middle school, but it was high school. We kind of split up. Um, Between middle and high school, I started to kind of make more like acquaintances, I would say, and I would start to actually be a little bit more of a social person, picking up on social cues, etc., etc. Um, College is now here. I would even say like I'm starting to make like again what I would call well connected acquaintances, but not necessarily friends. Um, I have multiple circles that I'm kind of a part of, but at the same time, I would say that there like I don't have like a circle for the pure sake of friendship, but it's mainly just inserted around like social interests and clubs. In fact, I would say that's probably the main reason why in college I'm actually starting to kind of create some vague sense of friendships, because the fact that I have clubs to go to while in high school, they were somewhat kind of limited. I would even say that in high school there were a couple of clubs I was a part of, but at the same time, it really wasn't. It was just a different experience, really. Um, I would say beyond that, uh, I kind of don't really socialize that much naturally. I kind of like being in my own head. In fact, when you're kind of like someone tries to like talk to me, they're kind of like, it's me kind of wrestling like, okay, are you more interesting than my own head? And if you're not, then, well, I mean, I like talking to anyone really. I never really got the whole idea of like ISTPs, at least in terms of me being like people haters, because I definitely don't hate people. In fact, I would even say that I almost kind of like people. People are just confusing, and I don't know how to handle them half the time, and etc. etc. Um, Usually, I let other people talk. I'll try to keep the conversation going with questions and trying to be pensive. However, at the end of the day, I would say like they usually kind of lead the charge in whatever they want to talk about. Um, Unless it's something business oriented, like something that we kind of have to do, in which case I usually don't necessarily want to be the leader, but if no one else is like stepping up to the task, I usually end up trying to be a leader, and I usually lead discussions. Um, if someone is like annoying me or I just don't really like their company all too well, I'll something I notice is I usually tend to be a little bit more brief. Um, but I'll play along anyways, just because I think the drama isn't really worth the effort in trying to tell them to fuck off. Uh, yeah, I just can't do it. But again, I usually get along with most people. And usually if like I'm calling or texting, I don't know where my, oh fuck, it's right there. Um, I'm usually very instantaneous when it comes to responding with text. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna move on to romantic sexual relationships. Never been in one, never even been close to being in one, even though I would say there's one experience that I might have been close to, but I'll explain that a little bit later. I would even say that the first time I've ever had, I would truly honestly say like a crush, was in the first day of middle school. And I was sitting in front. It was the first class actually, early in the morning. It was the first day of class and I was sitting in front. And the girl was sitting behind me, like not right behind me, but like in the back of the class. And then I just looked around and saw her. And it was probably one of the most confusing experiences in my life for 12-year-old me, because I think what ended up happening, or what ends up happening with me, is that my heart tries to think that it's a dick, but it only ends up acting more like a heart. And to explain that, I think I was kind of taken away by their beauty, but I didn't really think about them in a sexual sense. Even though I'm definitely not saying I did think about them in a sexual sense, but it was just that was by far not the main thing I thought them about. I kind of wanted to take them on a picnic, and it was relatively innocent in my thoughts. I didn't really lust over them. Yeah, but never had the courage to talk to her. And I just wasn't ready at the end of the day. But interesting enough, we were both in a class one day, and it was in high school. She actually ended up saying that, oh, hey, and it was across the room too, so like everyone heard it. Like, I actually had a crush on you like a long time ago. And then I guess I was blushing because the teacher even pointed it out and said like, hey, look, he's blushing. And then obviously on the outside I was just kind of cool with it. I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. Like, thanks, like that's interesting. And then, but on the inside I was just like, fuck. And yeah, but it never went anywhere, and I'm fine with it. Yeah. But college rolls around, and then it was this first meeting of another group, a group. And then I met another girl, and again, it was like the same with the first one. It was just like, just saw her initially, and it was just like, oh shit, here we go again. My heart's thinking like a dick. We didn't really interact that much in that one group. She ended up leaving for a certain reason, and then we just didn't talk that much at all. Later got into the same organization, however, and we interacted a little bit, not too much. We ended up even having the same class together, and again we interacted a little bit. Nothing really came out of it, and okay, hold up. A part of me kind of thinks that she's probably sent signals saying that she liked me, but the thing is that I asked someone saying like, oh hey, like what's her status, and then she said she was taken, and then it was like, okay, it's fine. I would even say that I'm still crushing on it right now, but rationally I might decide that this is something I shouldn't go with and I should just move on. But at the same time, the heart kind of wants what it wants, and it kind of takes time to get over people. But yeah, it's fine. Usually if I have an romantic interest in someone with these two people that I can think of, I'm usually a little bit more direct and playful with my language and how I interact with them. I usually get more aware of their surroundings and stuff happening to their life. And let's see here. Usually I actually made the initiative to talk to them. I am usually not that way with most people, but honestly, if I say that I actually had like a romantic interest in someone or a sexual interest in someone, I will make the initiative to talk to them. And I don't know if this is an ISTP trait or just a me trait, but for some reason I'm very selective with my crushes, as I kind of told before, because these were the only two people I've ever had a serious crush on. I don't know why, but it's just how it works. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the story. Okay, so it was early in the morning, and it was a Tuesday, and I was walking down kind of the main street of our college, and there was this girl who was walking in front of me, and she like kept looking at me a little bit, and then, but I kind of didn't think much of it. But then she like slowed down for me to catch up with her, and then she like said just right immediately said, "Are you single? Do you have like a girlfriend?" And then I was just like, "No, not really." I didn't know where this was going. Well, I think I knew where this was going, but I kind of let it play out. And then she was just like, "Oh yeah, me too." And then right after that, she said, I thought she said something on the lines of like, "Do you want to meet my boyfriend?" I know she said that she was single, but like I wasn't thinking at the moment. And so I was just like, "Yeah." Right when she said yes, like, "Yes!" That's how she reacted it, verbatim. I was just like, oh shit, what the fuck did I just get myself into? Because she asked if I wanted to be her boyfriend. And so, we exchanged numbers, very awkwardly. And then she asked for a hug, which I give, very awkwardly. And because I kind of, again, it was one of the most awkward moments in my life, but I kind of want to give her a chance, just maybe that was her weird way of breaking the ice, right? I didn't want to kind of be a total dick to her. But yeah, no, in the 4 days that I kind of let this go on, I'm pretty sure that she was very mentally ill and just was not ready for a relationship at all. And there's multiple reasons why because of that, but I'll keep that mostly secret. I will say though that she sent like very weird texts, and she had very weird quirks when it came to talking to me and interacting with me, and her backstory was just not very nice. It wasn't a very good sign, and yeah, it was just very, very off. And so, and yeah, we actually decided to do like a get together. It wasn't a date really, it was just a get together, and she was like 30 minutes late for the thing. Yeah, that kind of pissed me off a little bit, but it was all right. So during these days, I kind of had to think like, okay, what's the best way to do this to break up with her? And so I finally just decided to kind of break up with her over text with like a long explanation, just saying like, hey, I don't think this relationship will work out because of various reasons. And then she texted okay, and then I blocked her number, and that was it. Yeah, I was just hoping that I never would see her again, and I never have. So, good luck with me. So that was a close bullet. But, yeah, I guess if you want to consider that as a relationship experience, then I did have some experience with relationships, but it's not a very good one, is it? No, it's not. Yeah, so that's basically it. I actually do have a couple ideas for videos that I'll probably make within a month. I don't know. And you can always send me requests. I am perfectly fine with that. And if you have anything asked about this subject, just leave it in the comments and I will be happy to answer. Yeah, that's basically about it.